Hi guys, welcome back to Seduce Me. Sorry for the wait. It's been pretty hectic lately, but I'm gonna try to get in like an hour-long video this time. I don't know, I've just been really busy on my break, but I'm gonna get this done. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten you guys. Anyways, let's go on. I'm gonna start a little earlier this time, just so you can get the whole Sam perspective, or whatever you want to call it. That's when I saw them. A group of men were lying on the floor. They were all unconscious, but there was no explanation as to why they were there in the first place. I dropped my bag as I let the door close on its own behind me. Huh? Who the heck are you guys? Why are they here? What's going on? I'm also getting a little sick, so sorry if my voice is all hoarse. Some of them had open wounds. The blood was staining the floor, and the scent was intermingling with the air. I couldn't help but feel bad for them instinctively, but nevertheless I was shocked and a bit angry at the sudden intrusion. My mind suddenly went from caring concern to confused and demanding answers. Who are you guys? No response. I'll call the police. Still nothing. None of them seemed to be awake to answer or respond to me. It seemed surreal to have random strangers in the house I just moved into. I just wanted answers quickly. That was until... Get away from me!
Woman, you're going to let me kiss you.
I couldn't believe it myself, but within a mere blink of an eye, one of the men went from lying on the floor to being right in front of my face. What was even more odd was the fact that I felt serene and calm about it. Slowly, a desire burned from my chest, telling me to accept his kiss, even when my mind vehemently refused. Go ahead.
Good.
As he kissed me, I could feel my body go weak. I didn't know why, but that kiss was draining me of my energy, and yet it was so good and made my heart sing. It was a strange and tingling feeling that danced over every nerve in my body. I could feel streams of light and tangible energy run up in my body and into my lips. It felt odd, but at the same time, it felt amazing.
Sam, stop it.
The person kissing me, Sam was his name, glanced behind him.
I said stop. Now.
Fine.
Finally, he pulled back, and I was left standing there in a daze. What? Huh? I couldn't tell what was going on. My mind was completely enwrapped by the kiss, and my thoughts that melted into the depths of my forgotten memories.
Please forgive my brother. He's a bit reckless.
At least I feel a hell of a lot better than you right now.
Because you used your abilities on her.
Sam, you're such a reckless brute, taking advantage of a beautiful young woman like her.
Batch number 2, number 3, and now we're on the 4th.
Shut that pretty boy mouth of yours before I rip it off your pretty boy face.
Sheesh, you guys. Can we not fight right now? Not all of us are in the best state.
And then Sam's next. Yeah, so... Okay, go on.
I guess you are right, Matthew.
I agree.
And Damien will always hold a special place in my heart. Forever. However, as the men got up and started chatting freely, my thoughts began to reassemble, and I remembered my confusion and anger once again, only now multiplied tenfold. What?
Huh? Did you say something beautiful?
And I exploded. What is going on here? Why the hell are you in my house? Why are you all wounded? Why did you kiss me? Who are you guys? I couldn't help exploding, but after being taken advantage of and being left in a mush state, my words escaped without filter. I definitely scared the men around me, even the man who kissed me. Wait a second. The guy who kissed me.
Ouch! What's your problem?
And what's your problem? Why can't you just can't go around forcing people to kiss you like that? Are you some kind of pervert?
Pervert? It was only a kiss!
It might mean nothing to you, but it means a lot to me.
What? Was it your first kiss?
Hmm?
Ow! Hey, what was that for?
I know first kisses aren't exactly amazing and full of sparkles or something out of a fairy tale, but I had at least expected it to be more than just something forced.
So it was your first kiss. Stop making such a big deal out of it.
Are you asking to get punched again?
Well, what do you want me to do? It's not like I can somehow take it back.
Ask for any apology. You should at least apologize. That would suffice. As if to himself, he muttered something under his breath.
Why do I always look like the bad guy? Apologies aren't my forte, but I'll try my best. Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
Sorry about what?
I'm sorry for kissing you like that. I went too far.
Yeah, you did. He sighed and ran his fingers through his hair.
I didn't mean for it to turn out that way. It's just, I act on impulse, okay? It's difficult to control myself and... What am I saying?
It's okay. I get what you're trying to say. Thank you for the apology.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyway, if you try to pull any funny business in the future, just a fair warning, I know Taekwondo. I think I bickered enough. Time to get back to the main issue. So, what exactly are all of you doing in my house?
Miss, please forgive us in our intrusion. We didn't know this abode belonged to anyone, nor did we have the time to take that into consideration.
What? What do you mean? You don't just barge in people's house.
We wouldn't have had to if we weren't as wounded as we are currently. We just escaped from a deadly fight that could have ended our lives. Luckily for us, your home was near and the windows were unlocked, so we quickly came inside.
The last time I remember, there were laws preventing strangers from stepping onto private property, although considering the severity of their wounds, it had to be serious. I guess that explains the wounds, but not why he kissed me. He had absolutely no right to do that.
Well, lovely flustered lady, it's hard to explain, truly. We're not exactly normal.
Not normal. What are you guys, demons or something? I asked that was jokingly, but the boys seemed to think my question differently.
Well, yeah, actually, something like that.
We're incubi, miss. Demons who consume and use sexual energy of humans to survive.
Incubi, the fabled demons that exist to hunt humans and make them sex-crazy monsters? The mythical beings that could look like anyone just to get into your hands? The imaginary monsters you only saw in movies or on TV?
Hello? Did you hear him?
We're telling the truth.
Do you think she's still processing it?
Yes, and she'll understand right about...
Right. It was funny while it lasted, but it's time to cut the joke short. Incubuses don't exist. There is no way they existed. That would be practically impossible.
Ahem. Incubi is the correct plural form. And yes, we do exist.
Prove it. As soon as the words left my mouth, I instantly regretted them.
Very well. Eric, go ahead.
Very well. My sweet, you're so tempting with such non-belief. Let me ease your mind with a tender kiss. I promise you'll enjoy every minute of it, and maybe you'll even want more.
What? Once again, I was lost in a pool of calm and serenity. Staring into Eric's eyes, I felt waves of heat course through my chest and onto my face, painting my cheeks red in their wake. I couldn't help but nod and agree to his offer. Not that the tentacles make a difference or anything. Yeah, okay. With another kiss, my heart began to flutter once again in my chest, and my mind was set spinning into a heated, passion-filled pleasure. Yet I could feel my body drain of energy as he kissed me.
All right, that's enough.
Aw, very well. I feel so much better.
As he pulled away, I was left in a mental mush pool. I felt weak in the knees, despite my will demanding me to stand straight in front of the boys before me, twirled around me and spin as I tried to speak.
Where are our manners? I'm James, and these are my brothers, Sam, Eric, Matthew, and Damien.
Miss, are you okay?
Shit. She fainted.
I couldn't believe it. Incubi. Real. It all spun around in my head until I saw only black. Floating in the darkness, my mind kept replaying the scene over and over again, reminding my body of the touch of the incubi's lips against mine. However, I began to feel the smooth silk around me, and my eyelids unwillingly opened. Where? I awoke to find myself in an unfamiliar place. Where was Mom? Dad? I was pretty sure this wasn't my room. Oh, wait. I lived at my grandfather's house now. Of course it would be unfamiliar. I rubbed my eyes and surveyed my surroundings. I was still in the clothes that I arrived at the house in, but I was laying in a silk-covered bed. I remember coming in the afternoon, so why was it night time already? Suppressing a yawn, I stretched my arms, making sure maybe I should order some food for delivery. I was feeling pretty hungry. As I was about to sit up, but I suddenly realized that I wasn't alone.
You're awake.
Huh? Gah! Oh, Damien. Since when was he standing there? And who the heck was this guy? A guy in my bedroom? Did we? There's no way! Sorry, I think I was saying my thoughts aloud. Why was I apologizing to a stranger who only said 2 words since I woke up? Wait, he looked eerily familiar. Then it all came back to me. Incubus. He was an incubus. He and his brothers came here for refuge. And 2 of them kissed me, and then I fainted. And that was how things came to this. The end. Oh! He was leaning against the far wall looking at me. My heart began to race as I thought of the endless list of possibilities the situation brought me. I hated the thought of being under Incubus's power, especially in a bedroom. Be cool. I took a deep breath. I was sure that if any of them wanted to take advantage of me, they would have already. Yeah, I'm awake now.
That's good.
I saw a small form of smile on his face, which made me blush a bit. Why, though? One thing still concerned me, though.
I'm not going to use my powers on you.
Huh? How?
I can read minds. It's an ability I was born with. Each of us has a different ability, outside of our usual mind-altering powers.
Great. Even more surprises. I grew even more worried at the situation I was in. Bleh. See, how long have I been asleep?
For a few hours. It's already gotten quite dark outside.
I noticed. Well, where are the others?
My brothers are downstairs, cleaning up the blood from the lobby floor.
Good. I don't want somebody to think
and
I'm
making you
murderer.
dinner as an apology.
It's like, oh, excuse me for a second. And I'm back. I should probably learn to turn off my cell phone. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna say, people are gonna say I'm a murderer. No, it's like, I just leave it there. And then the next morning, like, they come in, they're like, oh, hi, how's it going? And then they slip on the blood, and they're like, oh my god, what just happened here? That would be an interesting alternate universe. Oh, okay, that's unexpectedly sweet.
Oh, it's the least we can do after invading your home, and 2 of us using our powers on you.
You've got a point. Right, I had forgotten about that. It still irked me that they had practically taken advantage of me at that point. Even if they were demons, it was pretty rude to demonstrate their powers by kissing me. I wasn't some kind of human plaything. All of this seemed pretty unreal. It was like something out of those romance novels that Naomi sometimes read. I wish I could have just went back to sleep and forgotten all about this. Maybe I should have just called the police on them. Then I would have never had landed myself in this situation.
Do you feel well enough to get out of bed?
Yes, I'm fine. Yeah, I think so. Oh, whoa!
Trust me, I won't let you go.
I'm not so sure about this.
I promise.
Okay, I trust you.
Good.
I was speechless. He was carrying me as if I weighed nothing. He was so strong.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's all right. I'm used to it.
I decided to close my mouth for the time being so I wouldn't weird him out or make things more awkward than they already were. Well, he didn't seem to mind carrying me or listening to me talk, so at least things weren't too strange. Damien seemed very quiet and calm about everything, especially with the situation we were in. However, there was a sort of longing in his eyes when he looked at me that wasn't lustful. It was more in admiration. Once we reached the lobby, I decided that I felt well enough to walk on my own. As strong as he was, it was like he was carrying nothing. I didn't want to make him carry me everywhere. Yeah, that would be mortifying. Thanks for carrying me, but I think I can walk by myself now. Not saying that I didn't like it. I mean, I liked it. Not in a weird way, of course. It's not like I get carried around all the time. What I'm trying to say is that it was really nice of you to do that. I started to fumble over my words again. Real smooth.
It's no problem. I'll be heading to the dining room then.
Alright, see you. He gently lowered me to the ground before we walked off quietly, disappearing to the shadows of the dark lobby.
Oh, hi!
Suddenly, a boy who looked about my age or possibly younger bounced up to me. He looked vaguely familiar. Oh, wait. You're Matthew, right?
Mm-hmm, that's me. Are you feeling any better now? We were all worried when you suddenly passed out.
I'm fine.
Really? Your face is kind of red. Do you feel sick?
No, I'm fine. I'm sure of it. I must have been blushing when Damien was carrying me downstairs. How embarrassing.
Well, if you say so. I hope Sam and Eric didn't make you upset.
It's okay. After all, I did hit Sam after what he did. And about Eric, I just wanted you guys to prove to me that about what you were saying. I suppose incubi are real then. I wonder how exactly I got myself into this mess. First, my grandfather, then a fight with my father, blowing up at Lysette, and now this? I certainly had a knack for getting myself into sticky situations.
Oh, I have an idea.
He shoved his hands into his pockets with a cheery grin on his face.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Is he trying to do a magic trick?
Ta-da!
What is that exactly? He smiled as if to wave it off, but when he opened his eyes and saw what he was holding, his face froze in shock.
Wait a second. What did I just make? This is...
What he produced from his pocket was a creepy-looking doll.
Ah, what is that?
I'm not sure. His face paled considerably as he dropped it onto the floor, scooting away from it frantically.
Get it away from me! It might be possessed by a demon or something!
But isn't he a demon himself?
That's not what I wanted to make! I just wanted to surprise you with a stuffed animal or just something to cheer you up. That looks like it came straight out of a horror movie.
He slumped his shoulders and looked down at his feet. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to look so dejected. I mean, it's certainly unique. I think that's good.
But it looks so creepy.
It's the thought that counts, right? You wanted to cheer me up after all. I picked up the doll and looked at it closely. Sure, it looked kind of weird at first, but it could be pretty cute if I looked at it from a certain angle. I gave him a small smile. Thanks.
You're welcome. It's good to see you smiling, even though the thing I made still kind of creeps me out. Anyway, you should come with me to the dining room. We're almost finished with the food, and, well, I don't mean to brag, but we're pretty decent chefs.
Sounds great. Lead the way. Something smells good. My stomach rumbled in agreement. I was starving.
Oh, the girl's awake.
Excuse you? I have a name, you know.
Should we really care?
Yes, you're living in my house. Stop being a jerk.
Sam, I will roast that tongue for dinner if it doesn't stop flapping in that idiotic mouth of yours.
Also, I gave you energy, so yeah.
Psh, whatever.
I apologize for his attitude.
Oh, that's fine.
Good. I hope you'll enjoy the meal we prepared for you.
Meal? Oh, that's right. Damien and Matthew mentioned they were making dinner as an apology. Oh, wait, you didn't have to.
We insist. Besides, it's quite impossible to undo our cooking, even if you command us to.
Alright, well, thank you. Matthew put down the last of the plates on the table and bowed a bit exaggeratedly to me, gesturing to the table with a sweeping motion.
Ah, there we go. Dinner's all served.
The table was filled with various foods from an eclectic selection of cuisines. One portion of the table was filled with elegantly plated Asian foods, and another portion with some yummy-looking desserts. And there was yet more and more plates than I could possibly imagined. Whoa, that's a lot of food, and it looks all so good.
We hope you enjoy it, my sweet.
What? Sweet? Me?
That's enough, Eric.
You're no fun, James.
I don't need to be fun, Eric. Miss, please follow me.
I didn't know what came over me, whether it was his politeness or maybe his power. I couldn't help but take his offered arm. James seemed very kind and intelligent, but aside from that, there was something that set him apart from his brothers. Not to mention he didn't really seem to hold much appreciation for them.
Miss, I have to ask, why do you live alone?
Oh, well, it's kind of a long story.
I'm all ears if you wish to tell.
Sure. To put it briefly, I just moved here today.
That explains the luggage you brought in when you came through the front doors. By the way, we put your belongings in the room you were sleeping in. That seems to be the master bedroom, I believe.
You mean where my grandfather used to live before he died? We still don't know why he died. He just died, quote-unquote, heart attack. Magical thing related? We'll probably find out in one of the routes. Thanks. This house is really big. I don't think I even explored the entirety of the estate when I was a child.
You lived here before?
No. Truth be told, this is my grandfather's house. I used to visit him all the time when I was younger.
May I ask why you now live in your grandfather's house?
He actually passed away yesterday. It was bequeathed to me in his will, and I was sent to live here, whether I liked it or not.
My condolences. It seems like you don't like the idea of living here.
It's not that I don't like this house, or that I don't have fond memories of being here. It's just the implication that comes with staying at this estate. It's kind of complicated to explain.
How do you feel about it?
I certainly wasn't expecting that question, but in a good way. It was different from what I had heard the entire day at school. I appreciated the fact that he was willing to listen. I feel angry, sad, scared, and confused. It's hard picking out the different emotions that I'm feeling right now. I wish I was stronger.
You don't have to be strong.
What do you mean?
I understand that you're going through a difficult time, so it's okay to feel those emotions. You don't have to be strong at all.
Thank you.
Are you all right? There seems to be a small bruise on your cheek.
Yeah. I'm fine. No problem. He caught me off guard with that comment. I thought no one would have noticed something as small as that. Oh, I'm fine. He stopped and leaned in close, a bit too close for comfort, or maybe it's just me inspecting my face. He was really quite tall, having to bend over so much to look at me straight in the face. It was hard to look at him, especially when he was so close. After a few seconds, he straightened up and began walking again.
Well, if you're having any problems, I'm always here to listen.
That's really kind of you to offer that.
My pleasure. Here's your seat.
Let me get your chair for you, lovely lady.
Oh, Eric was very charming, and his smile pulled at my heart. The way he kept flirting with me definitely designated him as the charmer of the demons, yet there was a slight distance in his eyes.
By the way, I apologize for my behavior earlier. Stealing your second kiss like that.
Huh? Oh yeah, when I didn't believe they were incubi. It's fine, I guess. I mean, you didn't just get up and grab a kiss for no reason.
I'm not as forward, unlike Sam.
Suddenly, Eric leaned in and whispered in my ear.
I won't lie, though. I enjoyed kissing you and feeling you melt in my arms.
I heard it. It's right in my ear. It's been a while since I actually revisited this part of the story game. But if you're wearing headphones, it's definitely going to sound like he's whispering in your ear. It's pretty... Alright, I'm done. I was torn between smacking him and trying to play it cool. Be cool. You sure are quite the charmer.
Yes, I am known for that.
As much as I do appreciate the constant compliments, you don't have to keep talking to me like that.
Like what?
He batted his eyelids as if he had no idea what I was talking about, and I couldn't help but laugh. Well, like you're trying to get in my pants half the time.
I can assure you, I'm just a lover of beautiful women.
Something tells me there's more to it than that. For a moment, he looked away, losing a bit of a smile. Before I could question it, though, he turned back to me with a new teasing smile.
Did you want there to be more?
I didn't want to hit him, but I didn't know how to react, so I couldn't look at him. He merely chuckled again in my ear.
Sorry. You just look so cute when you're blushing.
I felt my face heat up simply from his words. I then felt Eric take my hand and kiss it gently.
I hope you'll enjoy dinner, however, my dear.
I drew my attention back to the dishes. I was both intrigued and slightly scared by the amount of food they made. Seeing my expression, Eric leaned forward and proudly smiled, gesturing at all the dishes with a dramatic sweep of his arm.
I made almost all of the dishes myself.
Humorously enough, Matthew looked at him with a shocked expression, as if he was betrayed. His face changed instantly to that of a frown.
And I'm the Queen of the Nile.
What's that supposed to mean?
Me, you, and James did the work together, dummy.
It's you, James, and I, Matthew.
Matthew is so cute.
Little boys will always make mistakes.
Matthew looked at James in disbelief, probably for siding with Eric, and he annoyedly swiveled back to Eric to confront him.
I'm not a little boy. I'm barely a year younger than you.
Well, you certainly don't act like it.
I really couldn't help but laugh. Matthew seemed very much like a kid. He was adorable. However, I couldn't help but feel in a way that he was much more mature than the others, especially Eric.
Huh? Is something funny?
No, it's nothing at all. Thank you all for the meal. Thank you for the meal, all of you.
Oh, you're welcome, miss.
Such a well-mannered young lady. Beautiful inside and out.
No, I'm pretty ugly in that inside. I'm awful. I use you guys as my servants. And the other is like, he's my favorite. Kind of like a slave driver. But not really. No.
Eric, knock it off!
In agreement with Matthew, Sam cocked up his head and glared at Eric.
Seriously, you're getting really annoying with that suck-up act.
It was obvious that Sam was the bad boy of the group. He had this big tough act, and it was obvious that he was physically stronger than the rest of the boys. Guys, but was there more to him than that?
I'm just trying to be a gentleman. The young girl has already gone through so much. She deserves a good treatment.
Alright, no.
There's a difference between being a gentleman and being an obnoxious flirt.
Schooled even by James. You're gonna need some cold water for that burn.
By the way, I don't believe we caught your name even though you know each of us.
Huh, I'm Yuki.
It's a pleasure to finally know your name.
Yeah, that's a nice name.
They were all comfortable around me despite the awkward situation we were in. It was as if it were natural to be around humans. I guess that was just how incubi worked. But I was still curious about one thing. Excuse me. All at once they looked at me. I didn't know why, but having all of them look at me made me feel kind of important, like a queen or something.
What is it, miss?
I wanted to thank you for the food, but I still want to know why you all came here. I feel like I don't quite understand. understand. Yeah, like being told that a bunch of incubi randomly appearing in your house was perfectly understandable.
Oh, how do we explain?
We were attacked. We came here to heal. What's so difficult to understand?
Now you're just being rude, Sam.
I'm just saying, how is that difficult to understand?
No, I mean, what specifically happened?
Well, you see, we've been traveling around for quite some time now. Just recently we came into town, but we were jumped by this band of misfits. So, in order to escape and heal, we came here for shelter. Again, we apologize for the mess we made.
It's fine, I guess. So, you're all better now, right?
Yup, all thanks to you.
Huh? Me?
You see, beautiful, we feed on sexual energy. But we don't just get it from kissing lovely ladies such as yourself. We can simply touch someone's hand to obtain sexual energy. Everyone carries sexual energy, you know.
I was still in shock about their powers. It wasn't just kisses that gave them power, but it was anything physical. No wonder I was out for a while. These incubi intrigued me, but at the same time I could almost hear a warning siren going off in my head.
Is there anything else you wish to know?
Well, what do you all plan to do now?
Yeah, what are we gonna do now, James?
That is a very good question. We just got here and surely we'll be hunted again if we leave.
We can take him easily.
Not without more training, Sam. The result of that was clearly evident in our last encounter with them.
At that moment, I didn't know what came over me, but I suddenly felt sorry for them. They couldn't possibly survive out there. If they didn't know it was illegal to break into people's homes, they probably didn't know a bunch of other stuff. They probably would have caused chaos all over town. Or on the flip side, they could be taken in for questioning, be poked and prodded like lab frogs for research. That was even worse. Nah, they can handle themselves. They can enthrall people too, you know. But most of all, they reminded me of back then. I was standing alone. The entire classroom was filled with laughter and chatter, but I stood in the midst of it, quiet and alone. It was strange seeing the whole world pass in front of me with vibrancy, and all the while I stood there. On the plus side, I wasn't engaged in any drama that might have arose, like scribbling on someone's paper for revenge or kicking someone too hard. It was kind of nice just standing back and watching things pass by and life go on. I had long before convinced myself that I preferred being alone. I often said to myself in encouragement, yeah, I want to be alone. There's no one I like better than me, so I had to spend more time with myself. But there was a certain bitterness that, coupled with being alone, made me feel so sad. There is a difference between being alone and lonely. I just didn't realize that at the time. And even after that moment, my father, my mother, there was just no one to turn to. I was so lonely. That's when I decided on it right then. I was going to see my grandfather. I didn't care if my father wouldn't take me. I was going to walk my way over there and see what he had to say about it. Before that I had never seen him before. What better time to see him then? Bleh. If no one else was going to help me with what I was feeling, I might as well have turned to him. So after school, I decided to walk there. I had no idea how to get there, and I was armed with only a scrap of paper with the address scribbled on it. As a 7-year-old, I obviously had great ideas. I soon became lost, and like I always did when I felt lost, I just stood there on the sidewalk, back pressed against the wall, and eyes looking at the strangers passing by. And like always, people continued to pass by, and life continued to go on. I was sadder than ever. I had ended up in the situation I was originally in. Nothing had changed. I thought that I was silly for even thinking that I could change things with my own hands. That was until a voice brought me back to reality.
Hun, is that you?
I looked up and saw an unfamiliar face, but it was obvious that whoever was talking to me knew who I was. And from that moment, things began to change. Life began moving its rusty joints, and I realized that things were moving along. Suddenly, I'd become a part of the crowd that I moved like a blur past me. I was no longer someone who stood still and watched others hurry past me. Life had changed. I had changed. Because the very person who found me that day was my grandfather. I had the opportunity to help them, though would I? I wanted to, but I wasn't sure if that was the best idea. After all, 5 demons in my house wasn't exactly the living arrangement that I had imagined when I first moved in. There was a matter of making sure no one found out about their powers. Thinking about them as lab rats made my stomach queasy. And even if they passed for humans, how would I explain having guys living in my house? I imagined if my friends came over, they would practically think I was part of a harem or something. Oh God, imagine if my parents came over. I think my mom would faint. Who knows what my dad would do. I think he would have them arrested on the spot. Ugh, this was hard. Maybe I should have written out a pros and cons list before I actually having to make a decision.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
It was strange that I happened to remember what my grandfather said to me when I was little, but it did kind of make sense. They weren't in the same exact situation I was in before, but I did want to help them out. I think it would ease my conscience and also make me a bit happy to give them help, as weird as that sounded. Clenching my hands into fists, I strengthened my resolve to speak up. Well, you could...
What was that, lovely lady?
That is,
Spit it out already.
You could stay with me here if you'd like. As soon as I finished my sentence, the room became still. I'm not sure what went through their heads from my words. The silence in the air cut like a knife until I finally spoke up once more. It seemed like you all needed a place to stay, and well, I just moved into this giant house, so it seemed like it makes sense. It was still quiet in the room. I decided to keep talking. If you would like to stay here, though, there are 2 things that I need all of you to follow.
Yes?
First of all, you can't use your powers or deliberately do something that might harm me or any guest that comes over. Well, save for enemies, but you get the drift.
That sounds reasonable.
Second, you have to help me with any errands around the house. This place is kind of big, so yeah.
That is a generous offer, miss. Are you sure that would be okay? We don't wish to burden you any more than we already have.
It's alright, really. I mean, I just started living here myself, so I would appreciate some help around the house.
A wonderful idea. We'll live here and train while helping you with the house. Servants for the lovely princess.
What? Are you serious?
Shh, be quiet, Sam. I haven't slept in a bed for days.
They all seemed to like the idea, except for Sam, and hey, I didn't really hate the idea either, even if they were incubi. It would be interesting having 5 guys help me with taking care of the house, given that they would follow the rules that I had laid out.
Grr, fine, but we're not staying here forever. Only until we can beat up that group of punks.
I think that is a reasonable time limit for our stay.
Yes, this is awesome.
Also beautiful. If you need a bedfellow.
No, Eric, not this time around.
Eric, knock it off.
I was happy that they agreed. Maybe it's because I wasn't going to be lonely for a while. Maybe it was because they all needed help and my want to help people was fulfilled. I would never be sure.
So what are we waiting for? Let's celebrate and dig in.
Finally, I'm starving.
Instantly, Matthew and Sam began to stuff themselves with the food on the table. I noticed James's eye twitching in irritation, so I stifled my incoming laugh.
Really, you two? You're both acting like pigs.
Oh, let them have a little freedom, James. It's not like we've eaten recently either. I'm sure they've been starving.
Still, that's no excuse for stuffing their faces like backyard swine.
I almost couldn't hold it in. So I didn't. Green, red, blue, red. Pretend I laughed. Huh. I couldn't help in my laughter anymore. As I laughed, Matthew and Sam looked my way, faces stuffed.
Is something funny? What are you laughing at?
I stopped to catch my breath. I leaned over the table and took a few breaths before replying. You both are so funny. Both of their faces turned a slight pink before they looked away from me, and they both swallowed the food in their mouths.
Shut up! We're not funny. We're hungry.
Well, we're glad that we made you laugh.
Shut up, Matthew!
Aww.
What? I'm just saying.
See, James, it's entertainment for her.
They were funny to me. At least they enjoyed the food. As I watched, I took a couple of pieces of my food for myself and placed them on my plate before eating as well. Eventually, we all ate dinner together. It was strange eating with just guys, but they were enjoyable to be around. They made me feel like a part of their family as we ate together. However, our peace was soon disturbed.
You turn the tables on me now. You drop me in the case somehow.
Hello?
Hey, honey, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't get to see you off.
Hi, Mom. Everything's fine. I'm actually eating dinner right now.
Oh, good, good. So there was food there. Well, your father wanted me to call and talk to you about having a house party tomorrow night to celebrate the new house and all.
I should be the one deciding this, not you guys. A house party tomorrow night? So soon?
Your father insists. You know how he is with events.
He should plan it then. I know. Well, since I don't exactly have you two around to help me arrange it, I'm going to need some time to prepare things.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, Suzu and Naomi can help. I have work, and you know how your father is.
Yeah. I know. I have to do it myself. He won't help.
I'm sure it'll be amazing, honey. I have faith in you.
Thanks, Mom.
All right, I gotta go. I love you, sweetie.
I love you too, Mom. Great, now how am I going to do this?
Is something wrong?
She has to organize a house party for her parents.
Huh? How did you... Oh, right. Mind reading. Of course. But yeah, I gotta do it soon or my parents will be really disappointed. I'll have to stay up and organize everything tonight.
Hey, why don't we help you? That's what we're here for, right?
I don't see why not.
I can name a few reasons why we shouldn't.
Sam?
Back off!
We'll take care of everything, miss. Just leave everything to us.
You're so hostile, Sam. That was surprising. I didn't think the boys would offer to help right off the bat. I couldn't help but smile. I was actually rather thankful now that I let them stay. Now I didn't have to do everything alone. As I kept thinking about it, I couldn't help but yawn.
Feeling a little tired over there, princess?
Yeah, it's been a long day. At least tomorrow's the weekend, so I can sleep in. Then it hit me. Wait, where are you going to sleep?
We found some guest rooms on the opposite end of the house from the master bedroom. I'm sure those will do just fine.
Oh, got it. Alright then, I'm heading to my room to study and sleep. I guess I'll see you all tomorrow?
Have a good night.
I will. You too. With that, I left the dining room and went to my room.
Eric, no.
What? I wasn't going to do anything.
Yes, he was.
Shh!
As soon as I got into my room, a wave of exhaustion hit me. Why am I so tired all of a sudden? I just woke up from that nap. I dragged myself to my bed and hauled up one of my bags. I opened it and grabbed my economics book, knowing that, no matter how tired I was, I had to study at least a page or two before sleeping at last. The words on the page scrambled in my mind as I read through them, but after 2 or 3 tries, I managed to understand what the page was about. Equations. Ugh. Finally, I decided to change into my pajamas and head to bed. Today was a long day, and I needed the rest. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. 3 days of surprises in a row would kill me. With that the thought in my mind, I drifted into sleep, embracing the darkness of slumber.
You fucking pretty boys think you're all that, huh? Well, save that to the end of my pistol!
Huh? What's going on? I couldn't move my body. I felt like I was tied up, and I couldn't see anything beyond the darkness that surrounded me. Yet I could hear the sounds of a heated argument coming at me from all directions.
One move and she gets it!
Let her go!
Matthew?
Come on, chicken shit. Fight us like a real man.
Like you scare me, Sam! Come on! Take one step, I dare ya.
Why can't I see?
Stay away from her, Malix!
And what are you gonna do, nerd boy?
Suddenly, I felt myself pulled to one side and arms wrapped around my body protectively.
I've got you. Don't worry.
Huh? Eric? As I was held in a tight embrace, I felt the world around me once again settle into a low, peaceful hum. The hostility of the dream before had faded into black as the arms around me rocked me comfortingly. Slowly, though, my eyes fluttered open and I looked up at the person holding me. Damien? I stared into the eyes of Damien. His face was painted with worry and concern, and I knew he must have seen my dream. Why did I dream of Eric holding me, though?
You can't control your dreams.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. What time is it?
It's 9 a.m. James and I were making breakfast when well...
You can't control your mind reading?
No, not yet at least. I hope to learn eventually, though.
Is everything alright?
Huh? Yeah, I'm alright.
That's good. I'm assuming you had a nightmare.
Yes, I'm sorry for disturbing you both.
You didn't disturb us, miss. Besides, we'd rather make sure you're okay before anything.
Oh, thank you.
Now, why don't you come downstairs with us and have some breakfast? I'm sure some nice food will take your mind off of what you dreamt of.
It was embarrassing to be the damsel in distress once again, but I felt rather happy that James and Damien were concerned for me, despite only knowing me for a short time. I wasn't sure if it was just courtesy or if they were genuinely concerned. I couldn't exactly read minds, Damien hinted, wink wink. All right. The two boys led me back to the dining room where the smell of bacon and eggs danced in the air. The smell wafted from the kitchen and made its way into the room, making my stomach growl in need. Breakfast smells good.
We should be done with breakfast soon. If you want to sit down at the table, you can.
I nodded before sitting down. As I sat down, however, my mind drifted back to the dream I had. That feeling of hostility around me made my body shudder instinctively, even though I knew it wasn't real. However, as my eyes closed, I felt a hand place itself on top of my head, breaking me out of my thoughts. Huh?
Morning. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sam, the owner of the hand on my head, raised an eyebrow at me before rustling my hair and moving away to sit down at the table. He then barked towards the kitchen where James was working.
Hey! Is the food done yet? I'm starving!
There's no need to yell, Sam!
You're yelling too!
Don't argue with me!
But from behind me, Eric appeared and sat beside me, rubbing his temples in obvious annoyance.
Can we not yell this early in the morning? It's not like we're in the castle.
Castle? For some reason, when I heard the word castle, I couldn't help but yell in surprise. The guys had a castle? Sam looked at me and smirked at my reaction.
Yeah, we have a castle back home. Our dining room's 10 times bigger than this room.
And wouldn't it be logical to not yell?
Whatever.
Soon, James and Damien appeared, hands full of plates that carried bacon, eggs, toast, and waffles. Belgian waffles sound really good right now. They placed the plates down by each seat before seating themselves.
My favorite.
Finally.
Thank you for breakfast. It looks amazing.
It's our pleasure.
You turn the tables on me now. You trap me in the cage somehow. I can never escape from you, but baby, that's alright.
All of a sudden, my phone began to ring, ushering me to pull it from my pocket and answer. I'm gonna do some skipping from now. I've basically covered... No, I'm gonna keep going for this. I'm just gonna keep going. Sorry. Hello?
Hey, good morning! Guess who's at your door right now?
Right on cue, there was a knock from the lobby door. My heart stopped. Suzu and Naomi were here.
I'll get it!
No! My heart quickly began to pound on my chest. Matthew was in the lobby and he'd get to the door first. I instantly jumped out of my chair and rushed out of the dining room. And then the plates fell onto the ground and broke, scattering food on the floor. As I passed through the archway between the dining room and lobby, I saw Matthew reach his hand for the brass door handle, causing the world to go into slow motion. Matthew, don't! But before my words could reach his ears, Matthew had opened the door and revealed the surprised faces of Naomi and Suzu. The world around me stopped as Suzu and Naomi kept their eyes on Matthew, who merely stared back in fear and embarrassment. I could feel the air go from warm to freezing in a matter of seconds.
Hi?
I could not believe this was happening. How was I supposed to explain this? This week was already bad enough. To make matter worse, I was frozen in place. Please, for God's sake, someone do something other than stand there.
Who are you?
Suzu, let me explain.
What's going on here?
Who's at the door, Matthew? Oh.
Soon the other incubi appeared in the lobby with us. This situation was not good and pretty. I had to think fast. I've already used all 3. I'm gonna say visitors.
Then why did one of them open the door?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It was no use. There was no time to lie to them. I felt helpless. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder and feel the tension in my body almost fade away. I turned my head to see James smile at me before stepping in front of me.
We must apologize, ladies. We know this situation must be confusing for everyone. Let's take this to the dining room and we'll explain everything.
I stared at James wide-eyed. Was he going to tell them who they were? Everything seemed surreal. Before I knew it, I was led to the dining room along with Suzu and Naomi and sat across from their confused gazes. As Naomi and Suzu sat down, Eric and Matthew placed their untouched plates of food in front of them, surprising their guests.
Whoa, this looks amazing!
Thank you!
Our pleasure, ladies. We hope you enjoy your meals.
Make sure you dig in!
I looked at Naomi and Suzu as they began to eat, visibly enjoying every bite they placed in their mouth. Hopefully the food would ease their minds for whatever James wanted to reveal. As Naomi and Suzu ate their impromptu meals, James and the other boys stood behind my chair, making me grow more red in the face.
So, Anderson, are you gonna tell us what's going on?
Well, you see... Gently, James placed a hand on my shoulder again, signaling me to just eat my food. As I began to eat, he spoke to Naomi and Suzu.
We are Miss Anderson's house servants. We were hired by her late grandfather to help around the mansion, but since he has passed, we now assist Miss Anderson with living on her own.
That makes sense. It's such a huge house.
A huge house for a wonderful princess such as Miss Anderson deserves the greatest of servants to care for it.
You're bleeding it on too thick, Eric.
But why are you all dressed so casually and stuff? Aren't servants supposed to have uniforms or whatever?
Well, Miss Anderson allows us to get comfy while we work, so she lets us wear casual clothes.
Yeah, something like that.
Sam's having none of this.
We're sorry if we made the situation awkward earlier.
We're very sure that Miss Anderson is also still getting used to having us as her servants. It would be very hard to explain after just a day.
I guess.
So, if I may ask, what brings you two ladies here?
Well, we wanted to see how our friend was doing. Since it's the weekend and all, usually we hang out and just chill.
Yeah, like going to the arcade and stuff.
Or the Pink Lady Cafe.
There's an arcade?
That makes a lot of sense, ladies. Well, we don't wish to disturb you any further than we have, so we'll take our leave and start preparing the house.
Huh? Preparing for what?
We gotta prep the house for some sort of housewarming party thing.
Our princess's parents requested a housewarming party to be held here soon.
And by soon, they mean tonight.
Oh, well, I guess we can help out or something. Right, Naomi?
I thought you wanted to go to the arcade.
This housewarming thing is more important.
No need. We can handle it. If you'd like to, miss, you can go out with your friends while we handle things here.
Seriously?
Sam, not now.
Yeah, Sam, shush. You're supposed to play your part. Well, I wanted to help out, but at the same time, I wanted to go out with my friends. James gave me a look of understanding, letting me know that if I left, everything would be okay. I had to make a decision. I'll stay in here and help around the house.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Besides, it is my housewarming party. I should help out too.
Want us to help out as well?
I think we got it all taken care of. Thanks, though, girls.
Alright, we'll head on out then so we're not in the way.
Sorry, guys. I'll hang out with you guys soon.
It's all good, Anderson. We'll definitely come to the housewarming party tonight.
Thank you. I led them back into the lobby and walked them to the doors, opening it for them with a thankful smile. They both gave me hugs before walking out to Naomi's car, which was parked in the driveway. And with that, they left. I was happy that they wanted to help, but I had to do this on my own. It was not their work, so I didn't want to force it on them just because they were my best friends. We had the entire day to work. The party was tonight, and we had to do all we could to make everything right. We sat down and talked about what needed to happen before the party started that night. Each guy had been assigned a different part of the party to do, and right after lunch, we began to work. Since everything was taken care of by at least one incubus, James told me I could assist one of them. The question was, who? Sam with the front yard. I walked out into the front yard to see Sam not cleaning, but doing slow motions with his hands and arms. He was doing Tai Chi, a form of martial arts I had previously learned aside from Taekwondo. However, he wasn't cleaning, which made me cross my arms and glare at him. Aren't we supposed to be cleaning the front door? Aren't we supposed to be cleaning the front yard?
You were taking too long. I already finished cleaning.
What? You can't clean that fast. Can you? I looked around the front and noticed that the windows were polished and the weeds were pulled, tossed out from the sidewalk. The lamps were wiped down and the stairs were swept. All that in 5 minutes. He's got like super speed or something. He really did finish cleaning. We literally disbanded a mere minute ago, though. You work fast. Wow. Sam didn't respond. He kept his eyes closed and continued to do his Tai Chi. For a guy who wanted to be a badass, I would have imagined him to do hard workouts or karate moves for practice. Tai Chi was not what I expected out of him. I stood there wondering what to do. Join him. I remained quiet as I stood beside him and began to move along with his movements. He was going slow, so it was easy to follow along.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
This isn't supposed to be fun, okay? It's actually supposed to be difficult.
I know. Sam opened an eye to look at me without breaking his motions before closing and continuing. I followed along flawlessly, keeping to his speed. It was very relaxing until I managed to trip over my feet and land on Sam. Smooth, smooth.
Oof! Hey! Watch it!
Sorry! I landed on top of Sam, staring eye to eye with him. Sam and I couldn't stop blushing, nor did either of us move from the ground. I could hear my heart pound against his chest. Sam didn't move a muscle, just stared up at me in embarrassment. I eventually moved up off him and brushed myself off with a large blush on my face. Sam sat up and rubbed his head.
Man, watch where you're going next time.
I nodded. He stood up and looked at me for a moment. I could see in his eyes that he was concerned if I was okay, but he refused to ask. I smiled before walking back into the house. I heard him sigh before I walked out of earshot. And that's where we'll leave off for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try to get in more videos in the next few days. We'll see how it goes with what's going on right now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!